يا دعاة رب السماء يا من صنعتم في الأرض نورا يا قلوبا فيها الوفاء بشراكم اليوم سرورا أهلا وسهلا قولا ولحنا منا لكم كل احترام أنتم بنيتم أنتم زرعتم
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Certainly, the sages, saints and scholars and soldiers that have come out of Uzbekistan are too numerous to mention. And although we may have highlighted the life and times of one or two of them, there will still be likely thousands that we have omitted in mention. But of course, the ardent student of Deen should pursue those that have come from that part of the world by way of life lessons. Amongst them, the great Abū Layth Samarqandī, rahmatullah alayh, Imām Tirmidhī, rahmatullah alayh, and amongst the host and many others. What's important for a roundup of this discussion is the current state of Islam in the country of Uzbekistan. Now, whilst the overwhelming majority of Uzbeks consider themselves to be Muslim, the reality is, through the series of years or decades of the past, a number of fitan have crept into the society of Uzbekistan and by extension, many countries that were once upon a time under the yoke of communism. That part of the world, ma wara nahar or beyond the river, faced two fitans and two corruptions that were directly targeting Islam. One was the invasion of the Tatars or the Mongols, and this occurred in the 13th century that practically wiped out every trace of Islam from that area. And this was centuries after even Imam Bukhari, rahmatullah alayh. But through the efforts and through the revivalist efforts and tawfiq of many of the scholars, those very same Mongol hordes eventually accepted Islam and started a rejuvenation of Islam in that particular area. Then came the Bolshevik revolution that brought communism to that part of the world. And what's to be noted is that many of those who supported communism were the young of even Uzbek society that were either trained directly in colleges and universities in St. Petersburg or in Moscow, or they were disenfranchised with the role of the clergy, the ulama, and who they saw as backward in the way that they would be treated. And as a result, this type of fracture in society allowed Iblis and Shaitan to exploit it by way of communism. Communism made Islam illegal. Many masajid, including the famous masjid of Imam Bukhari, rahmatullah alayh, were turned into barns, stables, pubs. They were turned into guest houses for many centuries, right up until the easing of restrictions around about the 1950s, wherein even those communists realized that their stranglehold on Islam could not last forever and they would be better off winning over Uzbek society rather than marginalizing them. Now, although communism practically ended in the 1990s, many of the current leaders in the Central Asian republics, including Uzbekistan, have all been schooled and grew up in communist schools. So as a result, they remain wary of authentic Islam. From time to time, laws are passed, including in the country of Uzbekistan, that attempts to curtail practical Islam. And whilst that may be the case, we are hopeful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will now grant tawfiq for a further revival of the deen of Allah, of His deen in that part of the world. وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ, even those who are disbelievers may dislike the outcome. It is but the will and the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I trust this series has been beneficial and this series has been educative in opening a window and even a slight portion of a door into the knowledge of the part of the world that many of us have found for many years fascinating. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.